Hey, what's up? This is Joe. This video is going to take you on a moto-camping adventure to one of the famous rides in southern Appalachia, the Back of the Dragon. All right, so I'm heading to Marion, Virginia to ride the Back of the Dragon. This is one of the more well-known rides in Southwest Virginia. Interestingly enough, even though it's practically in my backyard, I've never ridden it. It's supposedly kind of a less crowded alternative to Tail of the Dragon. So it's about an hour and 15 minutes on the interstate to get to Marion, Virginia and the start of the ride. So let's go check it out. All right, so the official start of the ride is right over there where that sign is. Basically stay on this road all the way to Tazewell. It's about 31 miles of pretty twisty roads leading there. It's absolutely sweltering hot right now, probably pushing about 90 degrees. So I'm already sweating my ass off. But like I said, I've just never gotten around to doing this ride, honestly. In this part of the country, there are so many good rides. All you really have to do is get on some country roads, but nevertheless, let's go give it a try. As I was saying earlier, it's really hard to pick a bad road in the southern Appalachian Mountains. If you ever look at a map of the area, it almost appears like a bird's nest of windy, twisty roads all tangled together. In spite of that fact, I found this little stretch of Highway 16 to be quite enchanting in its own way, with a nice smooth surface for most of it and not much traffic at all. There were an interesting couple of miles when the terrain changed completely and I found myself riding out of the woods and into rolling green pastures. There is scarcely another soul out here. Of course, it is Monday afternoon, but I mean, try that on the Tail of the Dragon. You know, I mean, pretty much anytime you go, it's going to be absolutely packed with people, and I can never really enjoy it. But this is a nice, good quality road. It's maybe not quite as technical as the Tail of the Dragon, but just the fun factor of not having to worry about so many people just absolutely makes it worth it. The suspension is just handling like an absolute dream. Prior to this, I mean, I would have been all over the road, and it would have taken a lot of effort to kind of keep the bike going where I wanted it to go. So anyway, I guess I'm about at the halfway point now. So I'm gonna make it up to Tazewell, maybe get a couple things from the grocery store, and then look for a place to make camp. Amazingly, the back of the Dragon contains a jaw-dropping 438 curves in a 32-mile span. Granted, a lot of those curves are really nothing more than slight bends in the road, and I was really surprised at how quickly I'd made it to the halfway point. Just how and why some of these old country roads get the kind of outrageous names they do is a matter of some speculation. My feeling is that it's really nothing more than a clever marketing ploy, but I have to admit that with the new suspension setup I just installed on my bike, in my opinion, this one totally lived up to the hype. Just to illustrate the fact that there's a lot of good roads around here, this is a basic map of the area, and they've apparently gone through all the trouble to give each of these country roads kind of a cute name. And there's where we just were. That ride unfortunately flew by too quick. I was enjoying it so much. It was over pretty much as soon as I started. It takes about 45 minutes to do the whole thing from Marion to here. I like it so much I'm halfway tempted to turn right back around and do it the other way, but like I said, there's a lot of other good roads around here, so I'm gonna head into the mountains a little bit, maybe get off on some dirt and look for a place to make camp. From Tazewell, I headed northeast along the West Virginia line toward the Jefferson Nat'l Forest. Although they might not have been as notorious as the Dragon, these smaller back roads were every bit as fun. All right, just saw a deer right there. I saw a fawn a couple miles back and 2 other dead deer on the side of the road in the last 7 miles. Obviously, when I see a lot of deer crossing the road in broad daylight, it freaks me out. That means this area is just absolutely infested with them. So I'm just kind of taking my time and making sure to scan both sides of the road as well as I can, you know. Yeah, it's not so much the deer that you see, because if you see a deer, you can slow down. There's probably more in the area, but it's the deer you don't see, the ones that just jump out of nowhere that really cause the problem. So just taking it easy. Any illusions I had about keeping dry for the duration of the trip were instantly dashed when suddenly the sky was filled with heavy gray clouds. It's in these mountains this time of the year. Rain just comes out of nowhere. Hopefully it doesn't last long. I'm just gonna kind of sit here and hope that it passes over. I've never had much patience for sitting around, so after about 10 minutes of waiting, I folded up my umbrella and kept riding. In about 1.2 minutes, I was soaked to the bone. There's a big freaking snapping turtle, man. You can see, unlike a lot of other turtles, this guy has no intention whatsoever of shying away. He's totally out of his shell. Frankly, looks about ready for a conflict. Finally, after journeying back into the Jefferson National Forest for quite a ways, I found a sodden spot near a creek. My first order of business was to try to get a fire going so I could dry off. With all the surrounding wood completely soaked, this was easier said than done. Had an absolute bitch of a time getting that started. Burned up all the paper and stuff that I had on me. But amazingly, I looked over here and there was all this hay. It was like part of a hay bale. And the center of it right there is still pretty moist, but was dry enough that I could heap a big pile of it on top of the little bit of scrap paper that I had left. Sun's coming out finally, so it's shining right on that pile of firewood over there. All right, well, it's been a long day of riding and getting wet, so I'm about ready to do a little bit of the Vagabond Gourmet. All right, so I just recently picked up a new cooking pot. This is an MSR Seagull. I like it because it's got a longer handle. It's stainless steel, as far as I can tell, made in Thailand. With this longer handle, I should be able to just cook right on the coals like that. I sort of set the fire up kind of like a grid, like with a couple of pieces of wood going that way, a couple pieces of wood going this way. Go ahead and throw that on the coals, let that get warm for a minute. I'll mention that I'm camped in the Jefferson National Forest. I've seen more black bears in this area than anywhere else I've ever been. I can't say for sure, but I have a sneaking suspicion that a bear's sense of smell might be more kind of keenly attuned to the smell of like raw blood or raw meat. So I actually cooked up some beef back home, just so I don't get that kind of alluring smell of raw blood out here. I don't know if this is any better, honestly, but I don't know. It makes me feel a little better. So this is some steak that I cooked up and chopped up. Look how hot that is. All right, so I brought a couple of tablespoons of frozen butter. After all that riding, it's probably not very frozen anymore. Pretty much melted completely. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw my butter in this hot pan. Oh yeah, it's hot. All right, that melted instantly. So now I'm gonna throw my beef in there. So I intentionally did not put a whole lot of salt on that beef because I got this, which is tamari sauce, which is kind of like a soy sauce. Give it a splash of this. Get it coated. All right, and then I got some of this, which is sort of like an Asian, kind of a Chinese style chili crisp, which are basically like hot chilies fried in oil with some fermented black beans, kind of a deal, and garlic. Throw some chili crisp in there. Throw it back on the fire. That fire is so hot, I'm having to only leave this on there for a couple seconds at a time. All right, so now I got a lemon that I'm gonna cut in half. Get the seeds out. And then squeeze that on there. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of what's left of this lemon into my dirty pan because that's gonna make it a lot easier to clean. Pull that off the fire. Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Alrighty, we'll give it a try. Maiden voyage of the MSR pot. That is spicy, rich, delicious. So you got the saltiness of the tamari sauce with the richness of the butter and the fat from the steak combined with the spiciness of the chili crisp and then the tang of the lemon. Even though it's just got a few simple ingredients, it's pretty spectacular. All right, so I'm about to do these dishes, and I'll mention that there's a little creek running through here, over there. Bears have a sense of smell that is second to none. I forget whatever it is, like 30 times more powerful than that of a dog. This is definitely bear country, so I'm gonna go downstream. That way any residual food and stuff gets washed further downstream. So now I've gathered up every particle of food that I have, as well as the dishes that I just washed, because they still smell like food. I'm gonna go hiking a little bit, maybe a couple 100 yards away, and hang this stuff up in a tree. Well, there's that snapping turtle again. I don't know why he likes this gravel road so much. Looks like he's been doing something right there. digging or something. You're lucky I'm not hungry, buddy. Because if I were, you'd be turtle soup. That's the old sapling trick. If you can't find a convenient branch, find a sapling, pull it down, tie your stuff up there and let it go. I gotta be honest, I mean, I grew up camping in the Appalachian Mountains. Every chance we got, every weekend, pretty much, we were out here in the woods, camping, fishing, four-wheeling, hunting, what have you. And having been to a lot of other places and camped in a lot of different types of terrain and different climates and stuff, I find it really uncomfortable being in the Appalachian Mountains. The weather's kind of always unpredictable. The terrain is very unforgiving. I mean, as you've seen, there's not really a level piece of ground out here. It's nice to visit, I guess, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite type of camping environs. You really have to hand it to the Cherokee Indians who used to call this area home, because you'd have to be really hardy to make it work out here long term, that's for sure. All right, I'm walking to get my stuff out of the tree. Didn't see the snapping turtle this morning, but I had a pretty good night out there. Luckily, no bears. Threw a couple of logs on the fire and kept smoldering all night. So I don't know if that keeps bears away necessarily, but It doesn't seem to hurt. All right, so in summary, back of the Dragon, absolutely an awesome ride. A lot less crowded than the tail of the Dragon. Not quite as technical, like I said, but certainly a very good road. So I am all packed up and getting ready to head back home to get ready for the Born Free show. So we'll see you in the next video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. And as usual, I've included an optional donate link in the drop box for anybody that might like to contribute to this project. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the road.